What up, YouTube? It's your boy Ghetto. I'm back with a new one, and today I'm going to give you all of the tips and secrets to speed up your workflow inside the MPC X and the MPC Live. This is the MPC cheat code. Follow me. Okay, I'm sitting in front of the MPC X, and before we get started, I want you to know that I already did a video going over the shortcuts of the browsing through the menu, and also a nice shortcut in song mode that a lot of people don't know about. So if you want to check that out, you can click this link in the card up here, or I'll put it in the cards at the end of the video. Now let's get started. I'm going to start out basic. So the first thing we're going to go over is the shift button. It's one of the most underused buttons on the MPC, if you ask me. I think more people should utilize the shift button. What the shift button does is allow you to access more menu functions than what you actually see on your screen, depending on what screen you're in. So I click to go to Pad Perform. Any screen that has a little up arrow in the bottom left corner, you can utilize the shift button and you'll get extra options along that bottom row in the menu. So in Pad Perform, it happens to be chord progressions, or the notes that you can play, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7. Then you have progressions, and then you can scroll up octaves. If you hold the shift button, then you have 1, 4, 5 and 1, 4, 5, 7B. So it gives you more options in the menu for things that you can choose. Okay, now I'm in the step sequencer. Same thing. If I hit the shift button, I have a few more options that I can utilize inside the menu. Next, when it comes to the shift button also gives you secondary functions on a lot of the hard buttons on the MPC. For instance, any button that has a secondary button up under it, you can use the shift button to access that secondary button. So for the main button, for instance, as you know, it's the main button. It gets to the main screen on the MPC. If you hold down shift, it goes to your track list, okay? So that's also for everything else. Sampler button goes to your sampler. You hold down shift and hit that, and it goes to the looper. Step sequencer, hold down shift, goes to list edit, so on and so forth. Every button that has a secondary button, it'll either be red or gray, depending on if you're using the MPC X or the MPC Live. You can hold down the shift button to access that secondary button. Now, not only that, there's a quicker way to access these secondary buttons. I already mentioned that holding down shift and pressing these buttons will access that secondary button. But a quick little speed tip that's even faster. If you double tap any of these menu buttons with the secondary functions, it'll go straight to it. So for instance, if I want to go to track and I'm in menu, double tap menu, and I'm in my track list. I hit the sampler, I double tap the sampler, now I'm in the looper. Step sequencer, double tap step sequencer, I'm in list edit. Track mute, double tap track mute, now I'm in pad mute. So all of the buttons with secondary functions, if you double tap them, quick little speed tip to get to that secondary function. Now since we're already going over the shift button, another thing that the shift button can do is increase your accuracy. So I'm gonna do the tempo, for instance. So I have it on tempo. If I scroll my jog wheel, my tempo goes up by 1 beat at a time. I can also use the Q link to adjust the tempo. Now that being said, if I hold down the shift button, it would allow me to adjust the tempo by 1/100ths. So hold down the shift button, and then I can adjust my tempo by 0.01 at a time. And this works on anything where you can adjust the level, like volume, pan, velocity, anything like that. You can use this method to get more fine control over what you're adjusting. This works in the sampler, it works in pretty much everything. I will note though, holding down the shift button and using the Q link to adjust these functions will still adjust it normally. It has to be with the jog wheel in order to get that fine attention. Okay, now that we're speaking about Q links, as you know, the MPC X has 16 Q links and they're all labeled according to what function they change on that particular screen. The functions on the Q links change whenever you change screens inside the MPC. Let's turn our attention to the MPC Live. When it comes to the MPC Live, it only has 4 Q links and a jog wheel. They control all the same functions at the MPC X, but you have to press the Q link button to scroll through the function that the Q links will change. Now, the Q links on the MPC Live are not labeled, so you may or may not have to play with them to see what it is that is controlling. But there's a function inside the MPC Live that will allow you to see exactly what the Q links control by holding down the Q link, and you'll get this menu that pops up to show you exactly what 4 Q links are controlling at that particular time, and everything else that it can control when you hit the Q link button to switch what's controlling. And that bar will move up and down to show you what the 4 Q links are controlling. Now, note repeat. When we talk about note repeat, everybody know you hold down the note repeat button and the corresponding pad that you want to repeat. So, that being said, if you double tap note repeat, and this works in the MPC Live and the MPC X, it locks note repeat in. So you no longer have to hold down the note repeat button in order to use a note repeat, which is great. A step beyond that, in the MPC Live, you can use the touchscreen to do this, and it's fairly easy. You can use the touchscreen on the MPC X, but if you hit the F key button, then the menu buttons on the top will correspond to the menu items on the touchscreen. So, it gives you a quick way to access these note repeat time shifts fairly accurately, and you won't have to worry about missing on the screen because you get a little bit more space when you're pressing the buttons. It's a little easier pressing the buttons if you ask me. Now, the next thing I'm going to speak to you about is it's also related to note repeat, but what a lot of people don't know is when you use note repeat and you change the note repeat value, it also changes your time code settings. To demonstrate that, let me go on the screen. Let me zoom it out a little bit. What changing the note repeat does is it actually changes your grid. So I'll show you this on the MPC software. So holding down note repeat right now is set to 16ths. So I'll go up here and grab my pencil tool, put a random note down, a couple of them, is drawing the notes in 16ths. Now, if I hold down note repeat and I go to quarter notes, it changes the size of the grid on the MPC software. So now it's drawing nothing but quarter notes. I go to 64th notes and it's drawing 64th, so on and so forth. So changing note repeat also changes your time code a little bit. So if you know exactly the size of the notes that you want, so if you know you want quarter notes, or you know you want 16ths or 32s or whatever it may be, you can use the note repeat button to change that time signature and put exactly those size of notes in. Now, I believe I went over everything that I know. There may be a few things that I might have missed, or somebody else may know that I don't know. If you happen to know some extra speed tips, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let everybody know this is a community post. Help everybody out. Also, don't forget that I got this other video on the shortcut for the menu and also song mode. You want to check that out, go ahead and check the video out that I left in the cards. All right, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe and I give you more tips and secrets and hopefully make a beat or two in the process. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out.